Hi, everyone. I want to just welcome you to the Science and Spirituality course, TP5110, and appreciate you signing up for it. I hope we're going to have fun doing it and some discussions. I want to say some things about the course up front. It's a course where there would easily be misunderstandings about what the course is actually about or what its content might be. And I just want to talk about some of that. First of all, um, I just want to introduce myself actually, which is so that you know that I've got some background in this field. I actually have a PhD in geophysical sciences, and then much later I got a master's degree in religious studies at Naropa University, which is a Buddhist-inspired university. So I've been messing around. I've gone deeply into the field of science. I've worked as a professional in academia in that field, and and I've moved on from that, developed, grown, evolved, become a recovering scientist in some way. But and then sort of gone into at least the field of religion from you might say from a more mystical perspective rather than an orthodox perspective, the field of religion that you might label under the term spirituality rather than religion. So, and I've been very concerned with the issue of how science and religion, or science and spirituality, are related, and because it's very easy for us to think that there's an issue there, that they're not related, or that there's a sense that they're separate, and we want to have a holistic sense. We want them to somehow to be connected, to not be pulling in different directions, basically. And so when a person asks, well, the question, how can you integrate science and religion and questions like that, my answer now is that I think that that's the wrong question, but that will become clear as we go. And I just want to say the course is not really here to answer those questions. The course is really here to raise further questions, because the question is much deeper and more nuanced than we might initially think. And the temptation is to sort of leap to I would say an easy answer. Oh yeah, we can integrate science and religion because da 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 da, or something like that. And actually, the question goes much deeper than that kind of thing. And so, it's really important for us to understand what even the question is about science and religion, or science and spirituality. And so, we're going to spend at least the first part of the course delving into that, and really. The background to the course, this is my perspective, but what I started to see, especially after I left science, is that science actually involves a kind of whole way of seeing. The word theory, which obviously is an important part of science, is to make theories, hypotheses and theories. The word theory comes from a Greek root which really means a way of seeing. So science ultimately could be characterized as a way of seeing the world, a way of seeing things. And that means it lies within a much larger context of our Western worldview. In other words, science is a kind of a representative, a kind of canary in the mine, if you like, for our Western worldview. We have an entire worldview that situates us in a way of seeing the world that puts us at kind of at odds with the world, separate from it, a world made of objects, this kind of thing. And it's really deeply programmed into us, at least in our culture. So we have to, in my view, in order to consider the subject of science and spirituality, we have to tease out what this worldview is, because we're wearing this pair of glasses and we're looking around through the pair of glasses, and we don't know that we're wearing glasses, right? So we look at everything in that way, even religion or spirituality. We're still looking at it through the same pair of glasses. And so what I notice is that even, say, within the realm of transpersonal psychology, we'll be talking about things within that subject, but it's very clear that we're looking at it through a pair of glasses. And so we have to, it's like, what can we do to really either take that pair of glasses off or become aware of them or change them? And then in that way, we'll start to see more about what science actually is, because when we talk about science and spirituality, we have to know what each of those two things are. What is science really? And it's not a straightforward question. But we'll get to it. And then when you know what science is and what spirit is, then you can then I think what happens, at least this is my hope, is it becomes crystal clear how the two are related. So it's in this process of really seeing deeply what science is and how it works, and then seeing deeply what spirituality is and how it works, that there is a kind of clarity that arises about the proper relationship of science and spirituality. And that's what my hope for the course. So so what's not really included in this course, which is, I know what many might hope, and it's not that they couldn't be, and maybe I'll throw some stuff out there, but it's like that there are components of science, like quantum theory, for example, that actually lend support to spirituality. And what parts of science, the new science, more recent, up-to-date, cutting-edge science that shows evidence that supports spirituality. And I actually don't think that that's a very fruitful line of inquiry, but we will go into quantum theory and how that relates, if at all, to spirituality. So we're going to look at that issue of, can we use science to sort of shore up or provide proof for our spirituality, or to even take us further in the realm of spirituality? I think the answer is that the answer in the end might actually be surprising, and that science, science always was used in the ancient mystery schools, right? Because for the Pythagoreans, or even Plato's academy in ancient Greece, you couldn't enter the academy without knowing mathematics and geometry, and science was definitely included, usually as the first step in a spiritual path. So why? And that's an important question. That really, I think, leads us to a clue about the relevance of science to spirituality. We'll get there through what we're doing. So, but what I want to say is, and this is what I intend to do, and I hope I can add these things. This is a course where there could be a lot of questions, where you might need a lot of clarification on things, and so I'm going to add a forum to each week, and like in the British Houses of Parliament, they have a thing each week called Question Time, when people can ask the Prime Minister questions, or MPs can ask the Prime Minister questions. And so I want there to be a question time. It's not going to have a specific time, it's going to be a forum, but I'll put it in, and any questions you have, no matter how crazy or off the topic, post them in question time, and there'll be one each week. It's not in there yet, but I'm putting it in there. And so then I want you to be able to ask any questions you want, or say, what about this, or what about that? What's on your mind about science and spirituality as we go? I want you to put it out there. Let us know, so that I can respond, but also that we can all benefit from the questions, because I'm definitely of the belief that there are no bad questions. And in fact, this course is really one big question mark. Actually, the objective of the course is really to ask the right questions, and that really clarifies things, and not to really know answers. Although at the very end of the course, you will be asked to write down what your worldview is that integrates science and spirituality. But that essay can itself be a question mark. So really into the Zen don't know mind and applying it to this. Let's try and stay open from the beginning. Let's not leap to a conclusion, right away about what science and spirituality, how they can be put together, or should they be put together, or anything. Let's just try and keep an open mind. Sort of this week, you've got a couple of readings and a movie to watch, the movie Contact. I hope you enjoy that. I think it's a great movie, written originally by Carl Sagan, and so I haven't read the book, so I don't know how closely it relates, but it's really a well done movie, and it brings up a lot. It sort of really sets the stage for this, what's really going on when we find a conflict between science and religion, or science and spirituality. And then we'll talk about that at the end of this week. And then please, in the discussion post, share extensively. I would really like you to write too much rather than too little. So really let yourselves go in these discussion posts and put it out there. And then we'll have a lot to talk about. Okay, I hope you enjoy the first week. Enjoy the movie. Enjoy the readings. And I'll be talking to you at the end of this week. Okay, bye.